could go on about religion, but that will take too much time. Well, let's touch on corruption, which is one of the topics, one of the major topics in your book. So, former Prime Minister David Cameron um, called Nigeria, as well as some other nations, fantastically corrupt.
Corrupt. Yes, I had it.
Considering you have a book that touches on corruption as well, do you agree with him?
Unfortunately, I do. Because the corruption which I am trying to point out in this book has to do with government creating loopholes to actually aid and abet corruption in Nigeria. The job of any responsible government is to plug all loopholes. So if by any chance government policy is aiding and abetting, then that government should be described as fantastically corrupt. There's corruption in every society in the world, but what we find is that there's usually genuine effort to combat it. And the example we have of this same David Cameron is that when he felt that his people were no longer behind him in his efforts to make Britain stay in the European Union, he felt that he didn't have, it's like when you say, if you call yourself a general, do you have troops behind you? So if you found that the people were now saying they wanted out of EU, he would leave. And he left, even though he wanted to leave in October, but he saw it better to leave immediately, and he didn't have the confidence of the people anymore. So that is a way to fight, because it's another form of corruption if you want to force yourself on the people and you feel that they are no longer with you. And look at what has happened in many instances of seeing toxic money in British banks. They always want to make sure they expunge it and punish whoever has brought that kind of money into the country. So in Nigeria, we have our leaders, people who are still in government, caught with their hand in the till, and we find that the system is still protecting them. For example, I don't see why the impunity that goes along with immunity of governors should still be in place in Nigeria today if we are serious about fighting corruption. There's a case in Ekiti State where the governor has been accused of holding illegal sums of money in his bank account, and the legislators say that they are with him because they feel that he's being blackmailed, he's being oppressed. There's another word I'm looking for now, that somehow is being made a scapegoat of the system. Whereas the issue is that how do you first defend a situation in which over 4 billion naira is sitting in the account of a sitting governor and nothing for now is being done about it? Because even if it is injustice for him to have that kind of money and nothing is done immediately, what we know is that justice delayed is justice denied.